Committee and Leader, press 3. To speak to Natural England, press 4. For the Forestry Commission contact numbers, press 5. Or to hear these options again, press...
Good afternoon, Natural England Inquiries team. Ambrose speaking. How can I help you?
Hello there. I'd like to report an environmental confusion I've seen at the moment. I'm noticing it all the time. I'm calling from Hampshire at the moment. I'm just looking outside my household window, and I'm seeing a crisscross of very smoggy, deliberately sprayed-looking grey lines. It's almost as if someone's got a can of white paint and they've sprayed it right across the blue sky. And now it's dispensing into a very foggy, messy-looking, cloudy mess right in front of my window.
Yeah. I think I know exactly what you're referring to be honest, yeah.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name's... I know it's a strange thing to say, but I'm seeing this all the time, and I suffer from very bad seasonal affective disorder, and I actually need light to make me a kind of wake up. So anything that blocks the sunlight kind of does annoy me, really. That's why I'm calling you.
Because they do tend to, I know exactly what you're referring to, and it does actually tend to be in front of the sun as well, doesn't it?
Well, it's all over the place, sir. I mean, when I'm working in London, I see it. It's just something I've noticed over the last 5 years, and I'm a very observant person, and because I need light, because of the problem I have for 5 months of the year, it really does affect me, and I think anything that's blocking it, I would like to report as an environmental crime, really.
I totally see exactly where you're coming from, and I think it's fantastic of you to pick up the phone and speak to people about this, because it's a big issue. I know exactly what you're referring to. No doubt you've been told by various people that you've mentioned it to that it's nothing to worry about. It's just condensation coming out of the back of.
Well, I mean, I haven't really had an adequate answer. All I know is when I was growing up, I'm 42. I remember blue skies consistently. Back in the day, I didn't have S.A.D for whatever strange reason. It's just something I've developed in my late 30s, and it is quite a crippling illness. I need sunlight, and I cannot understand why I'm seeing all these aeroplanes flying at altitudes which are not on a conventional flight path, all over places where you would not have a flight path, particularly where I'm in Hampshire right now, spraying this chemical toxic mess, and then it lingers in the sky for hours and turns into a smog. So that's what I'd like to report, really.
Yeah, it turns into what looks a bit like cirrus clouds afterwards, after a while.
Well, they're not clouds. It's these. I know the difference between clouds. This is a white line. I'm looking at it right now through my window. It's a crisscrossy pattern.
With quite a metallic, almost reflective look to it as well when the sun catches it.
Well, yes, it's turning into a smoggy mess as I look at it right now. That you can see a bit of blue sky, but pretty much not much of blue sky compared to how it used to be 20 years ago. I'm old enough to remember that. I mean, I would like to report it and go on file. I mean, no one's given me a reasonable answer. I've written to politicians and I've get zero response back. So,
did you have absolutely no response?
None whatsoever. These are local MPs of Wembley when I was living in that borough. But
sure.
I believe that there is something going on, but no one wants to actually take any responsibility for it and explain why. Why are the blue skies being contaminated with this white chemical? I mean, what's your opinion? I mean, am I the first person to call you?
No, you're not. And I've looked into this myself actually, because I'm like yourself. I'm quite concerned, and it looks deliberate. So I wanted to see what it was. Now, there's various different sources of information on it.
Right.
But the most prevalent information I found on it is something referred to as solar radiation management.
I have heard that term. Yes, I have heard that.
Yeah, and what they try and do, I think, is create a reflective, almost fake cloud like substance to reflect sunlight back into space before it has a chance to hit the ground and warm the place up.
Okay.
The only problem with that explanation is I've seen them doing this at night in front of the full moon.
Me too, sir. Yes, I have seen that recently too.
That kind of almost throws that side of things a little bit out of the so that makes me sort of think twice as to whether that is the right explanation. The only other thing that I could potentially put it down to is something just generally known as cloud seeding, where they actually in certain areas either to prevent rain clouds from forming. It's quite a conventional, quite well known. It's on Wikipedia. It's known as cloud seeding. It's fully admitted. They do it in various places, especially in the capitals, and they spray what's known as silver iodide to prevent rain clouds from forming. In fact, I believe there's a firm now that can do it on request.
Really?
If you're having an outdoor event, you can pay a certain organisation now to come and fly planes over, spraying this silver stuff, silver iodide, to prevent rain clouds from forming. So that's one explanation. Another side of the old cloud seeding is that they do it to actually create rain clouds. So I don't know whether they do that over here, but I know that it happens in Cyprus, where they actually create rain clouds by spraying frozen water particles high up in the stratosphere, which then form into clouds, and when there's a drought or something like that, it can actually create clouds. So that's.
But in England, surely we've had plenty of rain. We don't really need any more, from what I can see. I mean, it just looks an utter graffitied mess. And I remember in parts of the winter, you have a bit of sunlight, and then by 1 o'clock, it's just a grey. It's like a grey can of paint has been sprayed in the sky. And I notice this happening right after you see the lines. In a couple of hours' time, that sky I'm seeing, there'll be no more pale blue. It will just be a white, grey mess. And I think that's why my S.A.D is getting so much worse over the years. I notice it's getting quite bad. I mean, I just can't understand why no one has actually asked the public's approval. We have this plan, we need to do this, because I haven't heard anyone talk about it in the media or the government. So I'm just wondering, where do I take this from here? I mean, do I need to write to not Tony Blair, but horrible Cameron about it, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. There's a couple of bits and pieces I can advise you to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of mixed information about it. I'm certainly with yourself. It should be something that the public have a say in. But they have started talking about it now in the
Really?
UN. So they're bringing it more into the public domain.
Because it's been going on since the 90s. I remember prior to 95, I don't ever remember seeing grey, pale blue skies. It was a vivid, lovely blue sky in the middle of spring, summer, and even in autumn. We don't get skies like that anymore.
It's absolutely true, and it's a worldwide phenomenon as well.
Yes, even in France I've seen it. So it's not something that's just happened this month. I know it's been going on since the 90s, but no one's asked my permission if they want my precious sunlight levels diminished dramatically.
Exactly. It's so spot on. Can I just take a telephone number?
Of course you can, sir. I mean, if you want any member of parliament to say, look, this is the reason why we're doing it, I would love, I'd even go on television. I would say, look, I'm a sufferer of S.A.D, and what you're doing is dramatically affecting my health. It's
405 now. I'm really sorry about this. I personally, obviously, have looked into it myself, but as an actual organisation, Natural England wouldn't have too much information, or if any information on this, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So what I may need to do is refer you to the Environment Agency.
Well, that's fine. I mean, if I can give you my email address, you can always get some person to email me, because I'm on your government DEFRA, Food and Rural Affairs, so I just assume this would be a generic place to start, really, just to report what I've been seeing.
Yeah. Totally. Can I give you the number for the Environment Agency?
Yep, certainly. Thank you so much for hearing me. I know you're probably very busy. I really appreciate your time.
No, not at all. That's absolutely fine, sir. You know, that's not a problem at all. So their telephone number, because they deal obviously, you know, with the environment and anything that you believe may be potentially something that could contaminate the environment.
Yeah.
That's what they deal with, really.
I see.
So thank you ever so much for giving us a call, but I'll point you in their direction for now. It's 03708.
Yeah. Okay.
506.
506.
506, and that's the Environment Agency.